I wanted to ask or talk to you a little bit about the speeches from the prince. I was watching you watch it with Goldie and the little incident that happened. I don't think it's little, but a little bit about that, about like kind of the security thing. Because I also saw the post by the police, and it just makes me think like begging the police to do their job when they won't even do it with their citizens. It's not going to help. With maybe like a tighter security would be needed. And these public gatherings, I know that people want to see him, that might not be such a good idea. Like I would have handled that with at least an 8 man diamond around him, being harder to get to him. I think Jeffrey's here. He could probably speak to like security better than I am because I think he has like a top tier celebrity type security, but not like for a state dignitary. Like when I saw the formation, the reaction time, like Jeffrey might be able to back me up on this. You can't count on these. Like when the president goes somewhere else, he doesn't count on their local cops. And if you look
Before
at the reaction from the local
let,
cops, they didn't even
before
want to say his
before you
name.
can before hello before you continue, because people might have no idea what you're talking about, so we should
Oh, please
actually
go ahead.
give them, yeah, we need to give them like some context. So
I
let me
apologize.
show you everybody what happened to Prince Reza Pahlavi. Somebody coming out of the conference, he got attacked with this red liquid. People say it's tomato sauce. So just this is just 50 minutes. Let me just play that so everybody's on the same page. So that's the red sauce. That's the red sauce. And they got the man. All right, so that's the context. Go ahead.
Like I was saying, for the type of dignitary that he is, and not only a dignitary that is in opposition of one of the longest standing sponsors of terrorism on earth, I don't want to besmirch his team, but it might be time for it to grow a little, the security team. And I think that that maybe the crowds around him should be like even the press, they shouldn't have been that close because the press can become a curtain. And these press, like he said himself, these press aren't supporting him in any way or the people of Iran. They have their own ideological bent. The police, you can't trust them. The police wouldn't even say his name. And that was their official police page, right? Why would I trust the police to step up their game? I would encourage that a better security around him. I don't know if discussing it helps or doesn't help, but I think that should be something that is taken into account, not just for him, but for anyone who is speaking about these things. You, Goldie, Tusi, like any of these people, I would like them all to be very mindful of security and the spaces you enter. I also want to talk about talking itself. Now, I saw.
Before we change topic,
Okay,
change topic, let's focus on this one first.
okay.
So let me actually know a few things about this. First of all, one thing that we have to understand is that security is very expensive, right? Crazy expensive. And I know Princess of Pahlavi's team is working with very limited budget, especially because they have decided not to take money from any non-Iranian organization like these charity groups or funds or I don't know, lobby groups and stuff like that. They have decided not to avoid getting accused of being agents of different entities. They have decided not to take any donations from that, and that's why their budget is very limited. And I do want to maybe encourage you guys to use it. I want to use this opportunity to encourage you. I don't know why it's not sharing. Oh, here. To maybe go to this website. It's iranopasmigirim.com. So IRANOPASMIGIRIM.com. And there's a donation button at the top right. And if you, so maybe if you just search for Rise Iran, Prince Reza Pahlavi, the website will also show up, but I'm going to put the link in the chat as well. Hold on, that's not because security teams are very expensive. So if you guys want to help Prince Reza Pahlavi's team being able to afford better security, you might want to help out there. But yeah, I think before you go to the second topic, Jeffrey might have some opinions regarding security issues as well. Yeah, go ahead, Jeffrey.
Sketch's point is well taken. I think what I hear is he's concerned about what sometimes is called weaponized incompetence. So if you have a person who is a significant figure whose position or existence is in opposition to, say, the cultural mores of a particular area that they're at, even though they provide you security, You get people who go, I'm just going to jump a little too late and willingly do that. That was like an issue with regards to Butler and the attempted assassination on President Trump, then candidate, then and also President Trump. So his point is very much well found taken. That being said, there's this. So here's the issue, right? His Highness Prince Reza Pahlavi is very much engaged in his. He's like one of the main focal points. He is the like a focal point, maybe the main focal point of the battle of the narratives to sit there and ensure that you maintain public buy-in to assist Iranian resistance and protesters. So he has to have some level of interaction and availability. That said, there's also the issue of security, and that's a very hard thing to balance. That's two mutually exclusive things you have to, it's almost like alchemy. As far as funding is concerned, that's a very valid point. I'm glad you posted that. I have an additional question. Maybe you can help me with this, Armin. There's a lot of guys throughout GWAT that are very much supportive of now, that are supportive of Iranian resistance liberating Iran, not the least of which is a lot of our buddies got killed by the Mullah regime via Al Quds forces. And a lot of those guys would be more than willing to just be a like pro bono security team for them. People who like were that have combat experience, know how to operate in a compromised environment. Where do they go to sit there and offer their services? Of course, they'd have to be vetted. I'm just saying, is there a place where they can go?
I don't think they have the capacity to vet these things themselves, so that's why they have to go with already established security organizations. Like that seems like a. I know that they can't right now. They can't even vet volunteers. I also know that I've already talked. I have shows in Persian with members of Prince Reza Pahlavi's team, and for example, I know that they don't even have secretaries. That's how limited they are. Like the person that was responsible for or writing the Iran Prosperity Project's education part. I had an interview with him, and he did. I told him like, so who's helping you? Because once he wrote that, he got thousands of feedback because Princess Pahlavi created a feedback period where you get feedback and then you have to go through that so you know how to change the Iran Prosperity Project. And I told him who helps you go through all of these thousands of feedback that they're sending you, and he was like, nobody. It's just me. Wait a minute, like you, it's just you have, and he's like, Armin, how big do you think we are? Like we're just we are like we're so small, we don't have the capacity to be any bigger than we are right now. So it's a very small team with a very limited budget.
Okay, I want to move to the responders. First, we have Nina.
Okay, my response is also my subject that I wanted to talk, so you can take me out of that list afterwards. When he was in Sweden, they announced it like 1 week before he was going to speak in the Swedish parliament. And the Thursday before he was going to speak in the Royal Garden, that was later cancelled because of security issues, was like a precaution that the Swedish government did. They also gave Princess Pahlavi 170 police officers extra on that Monday, the 13th, in Stockholm. They closed the door, the road outside the Grand Hotel. So all the things they did, and they also said that the security was high as like when Zelensky is in Sweden, Stockholm. So they did everything they could to make Pahlavi safe that day. And I think it's point of the governance in the country that you are in. Now, Germany has a lot of communists, leftists, mech, terrorist people from Iran in it, and RGC,
Nina,
of course.
30 seconds, please.
That was the only thing I was going to say, and take me out of the list.
Okay, the second respond is Ian.
I don't want to, I'm not an expert on this, but my understanding is that His Royal Highness is a private citizen with a US passport. And so what that means is that if he's hiring private security, they can't travel with him with firearms and go into a place like Germany. So there's a lot of red tape that you would, if you were, let's say you're Marco Rubio or something like that, then you're going to have American government protection. And so I don't know exactly what the solution is, but just beefing up his security, it doesn't necessarily help. And I would suggest that maybe we should evaluate the value of him making these very fast-paced tours around to different countries and announcing his visits in advance, because it's a logistically difficult thing if, in order to have armed security, he has to have a new team in every country that he comes to. So it may be that we need to lobby the State Department for some kind of help in that area, or we need to lobby people who have even more knowledge about this, like such as ex special forces, ex CIA people that have a lot of knowledge about this particular, and ex Secret Service, obviously. But that's my thoughts. Thanks.
Just a clarification, Prince Reza Pahlavi does not have a US passport because he never naturalized, because he wanted to wanted to be very clear that he's only loyal to Iran. So even though he lives in the United States for a major part of his life, he never naturalized as an American citizen. He travels using a diplomatic passport issued to him by Principality of Monaco. So he has not become a U.S. citizen. He views himself as, I don't know, because he's supposed to be the leader of the transitional government and for the Iranian people, and he wanted to make sure there's no dual loyalty issues, because if he naturalized in the United States, he had to swear allegiance and everything to the United States, and that could cause some issues in his leadership. So that's why he never naturalized.
That's actually really smart.